The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, September 20, 2025, have Kane reconnecting with Tracy, Billy making a shocking threat, and Tessa opening up to Daniel. Kane has been lining up his professional allies as he schemes to take over several businesses in Genoa City. On Monday's show, watch for Kane to potentially make a personal connection when he reconnects with Tracy Abbott. Longtime Y&R fans know there's a connection between Tracy and Kane's life and family with Lily. Tracy is the godmother to Kane and Lily's children, Maddie and Charlie. Tracy's late daughter Colleen was Lily's best friend. After Colleen died, Lily honored that friendship by making Tracy her children's godmother. Might Kane use Tracy to help him re-win Lily's heart? If Lily is going to listen to anyone, it's going to be Tracy. Billy has fallen off the wagon and is full gambling mode again. He's pushing away the woman he loves, Sally, his brother Jack, and his ex-wife Vicky. Even if he wins in his plan to get Chancellor back and secure independent financing for Abbott Communications, will Billy truly win if he's lost the people he loves? On Monday's show, watch for Billy to make a shocking threat. Is he going to alienate even more people from his life? Will his reckless behavior directly affect his children, Johnny and Katie? Will he try to take over Kane's train? Tune in to find out. Tessa is unaware of Daniel's conversations with both his father, Danny, and Mariah. The budding guitarist talked to his dad about his developing feelings for Tessa. He spoke to Mariah about keeping an eye on Tessa while she's out of town. On Monday's show, watch for Tessa to open up to Daniel. Tessa's been leaning on her student in between lessons while they talk about life, love, and loss, especially as to how it relates to Tessa's troubles with Mariah. Is Tessa going to share with Daniel that she has feelings for him? Or is she going to share her thoughts about another topic? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless scoop for the week of September 22 reveals Victor Newman will consider a previously unthinkable move. Also coming up, Billy Abbott will force Sally Spectra's hand. Plus, Lauren Fenmore will demand answers from Michael Baldwin, and Audra Charles will taunt Kyle Abbott. Y&R spoilers. Tease Sally and Audra will discuss their next move, now that Abbott Communications is dead in the water. Sally will tell her friend Billy decided something else was more important. However, what will the two gal pals do about it? Perhaps they'll decide to start their own company. Regardless, Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins will attempt to rein in Billy. Then he'll turn around and put the pressure on Sally. Billy will ask if she wants to continue their relationship. But will Sally finally dump him? As for Audra, she's got nothing left to lose. Her new job is kaput, Vibrante is finished, and her relationship with Nate Hastings is over. So when she runs into Kyle, she'll do everything she can to push his buttons. But will he push back? Meanwhile, Lauren knows Michael is up to something. She suspects he's gone back to working for Victor and is keeping it from her. However, when she stands her ground with her husband, will he admit that he's spying on Kane Ashby for the mustache? Other Y&R spoilers tease Kane will end an alliance with someone. Plus, Holden Novak will suggest Claire Newman accompany him to LA, and Tracy Abbott will catch up with some old friends. Finally, Victor will give Kane an ultimatum. He wants to ally with the billionaire to destroy Victor&Jack, but Kane will refuse. Then later in the week, Victor will contemplate calling a truce with Jack to team up against Kane. Y&R spoilers indicate Nikki Newman will get some surprising news. As viewers know, she's suggested to her husband that he make peace with Jack, so the two of them can combat what Kane is planning. So, will Victor tell Nikki he's thinking about calling a ceasefire with Jack? Hey Y&R fans! Are you enjoying the new CBS Sudsur Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading the soap scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news, and make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for the week of September 22 to 26 reveals that Victor Newman and Jack Abbott will consider making the ultimate power play while Sally Spectra gets backed into Billy Abbott's corner. For starters, Tessa Porter will resolve to get to the bottom of what really happened at Mariah Copeland's hotel. Mariah said she tried to kill a man, so Tessa will launch an investigation with Daniel Romalotti Jr.'s assistance. After Billy vows to make Kane Ashby pay for his latest betrayal, Kane will put Michael Baldwin's fixer skills to the test and push him to handle the threat. Kane will also spend some time catching up with Tracy Abbott, so Phyllis Summers will gawk at them while they're reconnecting. Back with Billy, he'll turn to Jack despite their recent showdown. Billy will seek Jack's help to destroy Kane, but Jack and Diane Jenkins Abbott will have concerns about Billy's unhinged behavior. While Diane and Jack try to settle Billy down, Lauren Baldwin will confront Michael and demand to know what he's hiding. Lauren has a hunch that Victor has dragged Michael back into trouble, so he may admit that's only partly true. Michael is employed by Kane, but he's secretly reporting info to Victor in hopes of repairing their friendship. As for Billy, Y&R spoilers say he'll hand down an ultimatum to Sally. It sounds like Sally will either have to get with the payback program or else a Billy breakup could be in her future. Once Victor updates Kane on a tempting new proposal, he'll give Kane a lot to think about. Victor will offer something that Kane finds incredibly difficult to turn down, so he might promise to reunite Kane with Lily Winters and fix his family. If Victor could actually find a way to pull that off, would Kane be willing to ditch all his grand plans? That's something Kane may have to genuinely consider depending on what Victor pitches. Nikki Newman will remain on edge over Victor's schemes and everything he's leaving her in the dark on. Victor only tells Nikki things on a need-to-know basis, but she'll eventually get some news that catches her off guard. That could involve Victor and Jack teaming up since they'll both mull over the possibility of joining forces. Jack and Victor could make the ultimate power play if they work together, but it'll be risky due to their trust issues. Next, Kane will decide to bail on an alliance, but which one will he ditch? Will Michael already end up on the chopping block? Or could it be Phyllis who gets the boot for some reason? On another note, Kyle Abbott will get some guidance from Victoria Newman before clashing with Audra Charles again. Audra will get under Kyle's skin and create even more friction between them. Claire Newman will also contemplate an invitation from Holden Novak, who'll ask her to travel to LA with him. This could be Claire's chance to put her romantic problems on hold, but Kyle's sure to flip out if she actually goes on this trip. The Young and the Restless, spoilers say Claire and Kyle have more hostility ahead, so stay tuned. Over the past few months on The Young and the Restless, we've watched the growing friendship between Daniel and Tessa. We know Daniel is starting to develop feelings for her, since he has talked about it with his father Danny. But does Tessa feel the same way about Daniel? This week on The Young and the Restless, Mariah asked Daniel to meet with her so she could tell him that she is going away for a while, to heal from whatever it is she's struggling with. All we know so far is that she tried to kill a man, which she confessed to Tessa a week or so ago. And we saw some flashbacks here and there of a drunken Mariah getting acquainted with a man whose name we have yet to learn. But it's odd that we never saw the continuation of the conversation where she gave Tessa that shocking news. Mariah didn't tell Daniel how long she would be gone, but she told him she was aware of his and Tessa's close friendship, so she asked him to be there for Tessa while she was away. She knows Tessa will need someone to lean on, but little does Mariah know that Daniel is harboring feelings for Tessa. How will Mariah react when she eventually finds out? On Friday's episode of The Young and the Restless, Daniel told Danny how overwhelmed he felt about carrying out the favor Mariah asked of him. He doesn't know how to be supportive of Tessa through her marital problems, partly because he doesn't know how long Mariah will be gone. Will she really come back fully healed from her personal issues? Part of him doesn't care what those issues are. All he knows is that Mariah and Tessa love each other, so he says his growing romantic feelings for Tessa don't matter. Danny disagreed, pointing out that Mariah and Tessa may not stay together. He used his own personal experience as an example, saying he never imagined Christine and Paul would divorce, and he would have a second chance with her. But it happened, and now he and Christine are engaged and can't wait to be married again. Daniel doesn't want to look at it from that perspective. He said he would never do anything to interfere with Mariah and Tessa's relationship. Daniel and Tessa's friendship began when she offered to give him guitar lessons. Those lessons became therapeutic for him as he was coping with the death of his girlfriend Heather. They were therapeutic for Tessa too, since they distracted her from her relationship problems with Mariah. Over time, Tessa and Daniel's teacher-student bond blossomed into an unexpected friendship. Recently, they wrote a song together and performed it in the park when they were alone, to get a feeling for the melody and harmony. Tessa sang while Daniel played guitar, and that songwriting experience bonded them even more deeply. But is she starting to develop feelings for him too? The writers have done a good job keeping it a secret, since we haven't seen her confide in anyone about her true feelings for him. All we've seen are a few scenes where she told Claire and Daniel himself that she was grateful for her friendship with him. But is it possible that Tessa feels conflicted? That she loves Mariah, but is trying not to acknowledge her new, unexplored feelings for Daniel also? We suspect she's probably interested in him as more than a friend, but hopefully, we will know for sure very soon in the upcoming weeks of The Young and the Restless. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Billy Abbott may have a car crash brewing, so he might be the reason why a hospital crisis erupts. Let's discuss some clues that could point to danger in the coming episodes. For starters, we should note that a serious emergency is indeed looming. Behind-the-scenes info indicates there'll be some sort of medical drama, so it's possible Billy could end up being involved. Billy is also spiraling out of control, so Jack Abbott will say something ominous in Y&R's September 22 episode. Jack will predict that Billy is headed for a crash, so what if that's a clue about an upcoming car accident? Of course, Jack will really mean that Billy's spinning out and destined for disaster. However, soaps often use weighty lines of dialogue to offer deeper hints about what's in store. We wouldn't be surprised if Jack's crash line was a way to set up Billy's potential car wreck. Since Billy has been drinking more to cope with all the setbacks he's facing, a drunk driving accident is possible. Then again, there could be a mystery surrounding Billy's potential crash instead. What if it's determined that the brakes on Billy's car have been cut or something along those lines? That could lead to suspicions surrounding Kane Ashby, and even Michael Baldwin, since Kane will order his fixer to contain the Billy situation. Michael would never go that far to silence Billy and preserve Kane's scheme, but he might face accusations anyway. Plus, Jack would no doubt accuse Kane of targeting Billy, so that could add to the conflict that's already been building. Kane and Jack's feud could blow up big time if Billy gets physically injured. A life-threatening car crash could also help Billy and Sally Spectra repair their relationship. It's easy to imagine some tearful scenes by unconscious Billy's bedside, where Sally begs him to come back to her. Billy might even wake up a changed man who's ready to focus on Sally, his family, and the things that are truly important. Whatever the case, The Young and the Restless spoilers say some alarming Billy news may be coming up, so stick with us for updates on any crash developments. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks, September 22nd to October 3rd, reveal that there'll be an attempted murder investigation while Sharon Newman faces some alarm bells. Some LA mayhem will also loom, so here's what Y&R fans can look forward to. During the week of September 22 to 26, Tracy Abbott will return and catch up with Kane Ashby, so there'll be some mentions about their almost romance in the past. Billy Abbott will also seek Jack Abbott's help to stop Kane in his tracks, but he may not approve of his brother's new ally. That's because Jack and Victor Newman will seriously consider coming together as a Kane takedown team. Nikki Newman will definitely be thrown for a loop when she hears about Victor and Jack mulling over a partnership. Over with Kyle Abbott, he'll get some words of wisdom from Victoria Newman and ultimately land in another heated confrontation with Audra Charles. Meanwhile, Claire Newman will have to come up with a response for Holden Novak when he proposes that she should come on his Los Angeles trip as well. Other Y&R spoilers say Lauren Fenmore Baldwin will dig her heels in with Michael Baldwin and refuse to let him talk his way out of a tough topic. Michael may have no choice but to confess all the Kane and Victor details in the end. Kane will ultimately decide a particular alliance is finished, so could that be due to Lauren blabbing about Michael's spy games for Victor? Lauren's going to do something drastic, so stay tuned for updates on any betrayals she might make to protect Michael. Back with Victor, he'll make Kane an offer that seems downright irresistible. Victor might promise Kane a Lily Winters reunion and a restored relationship with the twins in exchange for doing what he wants. Kane may doubt that Victor can actually achieve all that, but Victor might vow to make it all happen and try to lock in an agreement. Whatever the case, Kane will contemplate his future while Sally ends up doing the same after Billy's ultimatum. Billy may contend that he's not backing down from his vengeful behavior and push Sally to either accept that or split from him romantically. As for Tessa Porter, she'll think it's time to visit the hotel where everything went wrong for Mariah Copeland. Daniel Romalotti Jr. will suggest he could go with Tessa and help her search for answers. The week of September 29th, October 3rd, may bring Daniel and Tessa's trip, so will they be able to uncover any details about the stranger that Mariah tried to smother with a pillow? Tessa and Daniel will investigate an attempted murder, though it's possible Mariah lied if she actually killed that man. Sharon Newman may face alarm bells in more ways than one if she gets news on Tessa's investigative trip with Daniel, and has to face some Noah Newman concerns too. Sharon and Nick Newman will get thrown into a mystery storyline involving Noah and some danger in Los Angeles this October, so they may see the first warning signs once the month gets underway. If Claire winds up going to LA with Holden, there's a chance they might get tangled up in the same dangerous drama. Regardless, Sienna Bacall, Roger Howarth's character, and Detective Burrow will all be part of the Los Angeles action that's on the way. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some shockers and shakeups, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless scoop for Monday, September 22nd, reveals Phyllis Summers and Kane Ashby will flirt. Also coming up, Billy Abbott wants to make a deal with Jack Abbott. Plus, Daniel Romalotti will update Tessa Porter, and Tracy Abbott will return to Genoa City. Y&R spoilers tease. Daniel will tell Tessa that Mariah Copeland asked him to look after her and Aria. Tessa will say the last time she spoke to her, she said she was going to Boston to get help. Daniel will ask if Tessa found out what she was hiding. Mariah told me she tried to kill someone, she'll reply. She just drops this bomb on me and takes off. Tessa will wonder if Ian Ward's return triggered something dark in Mariah. What if Mariah's right? Maybe Aria and I are better off without her. Daniel will ask what her gut says. Despite everything, I still love her, Tessa will reply. So, she'll decide to go to the hotel Mariah was staying at, and Daniel will offer to go with her. Meanwhile, Jack will be thrilled that his sister has returned. She'll tell him she's about to meet with Amy Lewis, and she'll express her shock at the deaths in Nice, and that Kane turned out to be Dumas. Diane Jenkins will ask about her past relationship with Kane. He and I did get very close. After he and Lily divorced, I think he just really needed a friend, Tracy will say. At one point, Kane even wanted it to be a little bit more, but she knew it wasn't going to work, and they haven't spoken since. Then they'll tell Tracy about Billy and how he wants to use Kane to get Chancellor back. So, she'll ask what happened to Abbott Communications. Jack will update Tracy about everything, including Billy turning down his financing. Speaking of Billy, he'll lose it on Kane, who will tell him not to let his girlfriend slip away over a business deal. "A business deal?" Billy will shout. "I lost Abbott Communications. I lost Chancellor. I got nothing left, so you owe me, brother." Kane will tell him he's so pissed off he can't even see straight. "How else do you want me to react when you pull the rug out from under me?" he'll reply. Then Billy will issue him a warning. He knows a lot about what Kane is planning, and you're not gonna like what comes next. Billy will storm off, and Kane will say someone needs to contain him. "Make it go away, Michael," Kane will say. Phyllis will tell Kane he did the right thing. "You're an interesting creature," he'll quip, and Phyllis will say, "So is he. They come from the same place. That's why they're pulled together." "Do you have dinner plans?" Kane will ask her, smiling. "Now I do," she'll reply. Billy will end up at Society, and Michael will follow him there. He'll tell Billy he wants to make sure he doesn't do anything rash. "So, you're here because he's afraid of what I might do?" Billy will reply. "I think you should go back to your boss and tell him he messed with the wrong person." Then Tracy will arrive and she'll greet Michael. She'll say she was supposed to meet Amy, but she canceled. They'll look towards the entrance and see Kane and Phyllis. Kane will approach, hug Tracy, and say it's wonderful to see her. Michael will get a message from his wife and head out, with Kane on his tail. He'll tell him to take care of Billy. Inside, Phyllis and Tracy will discuss Martin Laurent. They'll talk about having nightmares and affectionately call each other badasses. Kane will walk back in and tell Tracy she looks amazing. "And I hope you don't mind, but I've thought a lot about you over the years." Tracy will say she's thought about him too. Finally, back at the Abbott estate, Billy will barge in and tell Jack he wants to make a deal. He'll admit he said stupid things, but he'll tell Jack he was right about Kane. We need to bring him down, and we need to do this together. Keep reading the Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Young and the Restless, spoilers for next week, tell us Holden Novak makes a bold move with Claire Grace Newman. Plus, Victor Newman makes an offer he thinks one man can't refuse. And there's more bad news for one of the redheads in Genoa City. We've got your latest Y&R spoilers for the week of September 22nd. All right, let's start with the offer Victor makes. Then we'll talk redheads, and we're going to save Holden and Claire for last. Kane Ashby and Victor are facing off. At the moment, Kane has kicked Billy Abbott off of Team Rebellion because he said that Billy is too emotional about his vendetta against Victor. However, Kane may soon ratchet up his own personal agenda against Victor. By the end of this week, Kane will tell Amanda Sinclair that they're going to move forward with their original plan, the one to launch simultaneous attacks on every major company in town, using that sketchy AI program. It's ironic since this past week, Victor was on the phone with somebody promising to take down Billy, Kane, and Jack Abbott all at once. It sounds like they both have plans to launch attacks at the same time, but Victor may be the one who is blindsided by this. Kane has Amanda summon their team of co-conspirators. Phyllis Summers and Michael Baldwin show up along with Kane and Amanda, all ready to get started. When Phyllis gets there, she's concerned about how Billy is going to react to Kane pushing him out of the plan, because Billy wanted to be part of it. But Kane tells Phyllis, "Look, Billy Abbott's going to be fine." Kane also says that Billy just had too much emotional baggage and he was a wild card, so he had to go. When Michael shows up to the meeting, he and Phyllis are bickering, which annoys Kane. Michael and Phyllis Summers hush it up and assure their new boss it's fine. They can get along. Kane then warns Michael that this plan is going to involve breaking some laws. However, Kane promises that none of them will get in trouble, none of them will be held accountable, and none of them will have dirty hands. His AI program makes it look like the hack and everything that happens is coming from within the targeted company, not as an external hack. Kane says, "Executing the plan won't be easy, but the payoff is going to be huge." Michael is surprised that fellow lawyer Amanda is on board with the criminality, but the lady lawyer says, "Sometimes you've got to work in gray areas for the greater good." After working for Victor for so long in the gray area, Michael assures everybody assembled that he knows how to bend the law. The main problem is that he's there as a double agent and may run back and warn Victor. I'm hoping that Kane is planning to use Michael to funnel false information back to Victor. Kane should expect this, so we'll see if that happens, or if Kane has been fooled. Billy throws a tantrum at home after Kane tossed him aside. He then decides to crash the meeting on Kane's train car, and he's mad. Billy is yelling that Kane pushed him out, but then kept Phyllis as part of the team, which is totally outrageous to him. Billy says that Kane doesn't know what he's doing. Next week, the co-conspirators are gone from the train car, and Victor shows up there and asks Kane, "Are you in or are you out?" Victor has some kind of offer for Kane. It may be a new one, or it may be the old one where Victor is threatening to release the info, where he alleges that Colin Atkinson conned that lady out of the inheritance that was the original seed money for Arabesque. That was what Victor was saying he would do if Kane doesn't hand over the AI. When Victor makes this very threatening offer, Kane says he'll think about it, but Victor says, "You need to decide right now because when I walk off this train, my offer to you is off the table." It sounds like Victor still wants Kane to join forces against Jack to destroy Jabot. Whatever the deal Victor is trying to make, Kane seems like he's considering it. Then again, he may just be letting Victor think that, and Kane already has his mind made up and a whole counter-strategy to deal with this Victor threat. Next week, Sally Spectra is the redhead who's breaking bad news to somebody, and that somebody is Audra Charles. If you remember, Billy told Sally that Jack pulled the funding that killed Abbott.com, but then Diane Jenkins and Jack told Sally the truth, that Billy told Jack, "Go ahead and take back the money." Now Sally has to tell Audra, "By the way, neither of us have a job because Billy killed Abbott.com before it even got off the ground." In addition to them both being jobless, Sally and Audra may both be single too, because I think Sally may actually be done with Billy for good. He is clearly spiraling out of control. Because Sally told Jack about the AI software, Billy is salty at Sally, saying she's not thinking about him. The bottom line is she has been thinking about him. She's been trying to salvage her relationship with Billy and to help him, but he's just throwing Sally and everything away. I don't think Sally is going to put up with Billy anymore past this. She risked everything for him, and at the first chance for revenge on Victor, and to make a risky move to grab Chancellor, Billy was clearly ready to throw Sally's future away. And he did it. So, why should she stick around? Finally, let's talk about Claire and the guy with a big crush on her, Holden. Next week, Holden is talking to Claire, who says she needs some distance, some breathing room from Kyle Abbott because he keeps pressuring her, and he's not giving her the space to think that she asked for. Holden says, "How does 2,000 miles of distance sound?" He wants Claire to come to LA with him, and she seems tempted by Holden's offer. He mentioned to Claire that he has to sell off some holdings in LA, and then he's relocating to Genoa City and is going to settle down there for good. She seems happy that Holden is moving there, but Kyle just wants the guy gone, far away. Claire seems to be inching farther from Kyle and closer to Holden. Claire might cut Kyle loose, if not a breakup, at least a break for a while. If Claire heads to LA with Holden, that could be really bad for her and Kyle's future. Plus, we know Young and the Restless is gearing up for this big LA story. It may tie back to what went down with Audra and Holden with Tucker McCall in LA years ago. Or not. In this storyline, we're going to meet new Noah Newman. We are also going to meet Sienna Beale, who's playing this character we've never seen. Matt Cohen is another new hire. He's going to be playing Detective Burrow. We've got Roger Howarth coming in a mystery role. Nick Newman and Sharon Newman are going to head to LA because Noah is opening a new nightclub. Be sure to check out our full weekly spoilers video for the week of September 22nd, coming soon. In the world of daytime drama, character crossovers can reignite storylines, and a seismic shift may be on the horizon for two of Genoa City's own. The news of Devon Hamilton's rumored departure from The Young and the Restless has already sent ripples through the dedicated fan base. However, the latest speculation suggests this isn't a solitary exit. What if this move signals the beginning of a bold new era for both Devon and his partner, Amanda Sinclair, on the burgeoning sister show Beyond the Gates? For years, fans have watched Amanda Sinclair, a brilliant and compelling character, remain frustratingly underutilized on Y&R. Despite a powerful introduction, her storylines were often relegated to the periphery, her potential overshadowed by the sprawling dramas of the Newman and Abbott dynasties. Now, the prospect of her moving to BTG, a show earning acclaim for its intricate plots and diverse character development, offers a tantalizing promise. Amanda may finally get the spotlight she so richly deserves. Devon Hamilton has long been a pillar of Y&R, carrying the legacy of his father, Neil Winters, with integrity and strength. His journey as a businessman, philanthropist, and family man has made him a fan favorite. However, a move to BTG could offer him a narrative freedom that Genoa City cannot. Freed from established family dynamics, Devon could explore more layered, morally ambiguous storylines. The show's grittier landscape could test his principles in unprecedented ways, allowing his character to evolve beyond the familiar confines of his current world. His presence would also serve as a crucial bridge for Y&R viewers, providing a familiar anchor in a new setting. Together, the move could reinvent one of the show's most compelling pairings. While their chemistry on Y&R has always been palpable, the couple often found their story overshadowed by competing arcs. On BTG, Devin and Amanda could be reimagined as a true power couple, navigating complex plots as equals. Amanda's sharp legal mind could be placed at the forefront of high-stakes courtroom and political dramas, establishing her as a formidable force in her own right. Meanwhile, Devin's business acumen and unwavering loyalty would be tested against a new backdrop of rivals and challenges. This transition holds cultural significance as well. As a prominent Black power couple, their journey on a show that champions multifaceted narratives could break new ground, exploring themes of ambition, identity, and justice with greater depth. While their departure would leave a void in Genoa City, the move to Beyond the Gates promises a thrilling evolution for characters who have more stories to tell. For fans who have championed Devin and Amanda, this potential new chapter isn't an ending, but an exciting and long-awaited beginning. The Young and the Restless. Best of the week, September 15th to 19. Stakes are raised and battle lines are drawn as tensions mount and alliances are formed. Welcome to the Best of the Week for The Young and the Restless, where we highlight some of the week's standout moments, scenes, notables, quotables, fashion, and more. Sally Spectra may love Billy Abbott, despite his bad habits, but nobody knows Billy better than his ex-wife, Victoria Newman, as evidenced by last week's powerhouse scenes. Heinley slayed as Victoria ripped Billy a new one for falling off the gambling wagon and falling back into bad habits. With Jack's support, Vicky berated Billy into nearly changing his mind about allying himself with Kane. Alas, Billy's too focused on his goals. Kyle Abbott is showing a great deal of patience. Claire's kind of pushing her boyfriend away, and she's a tad hypocritical too. Vicky was on Kyle's side over the whole "if I hurt Claire, I'll pay Victor $5 million and leave town" thing. But Claire? She felt left out of Kyle's decision. Run, Kyle! Run! It's nice that Lily and Devin have a nice, supportive relationship, as evidenced by Devin encouraging her to make a fresh start. The late Neil is smiling down from heaven, knowing these two are watching out for each other. Whoa! What was that scene at the top of a show in which Victor talked out loud and said he had a way to triumph over Jack, Kane, and Billy? Have the corporate wars ended before they ever truly got started? It was painful watching Sally walk out on Billy, but Sally knows that it's better to deal with some pain now than have to deal with a great deal more in the future should Billy not change his wicked ways. Jack, Sally, and Vicky are wise to be worried about Billy. In the scenes where we saw Billy alone and talking to himself, it became quite clear that he's gone off the deep end. Kai Kim, the director of the episode in which Billy was particularly antsy, employed some creative directing techniques that highlighted the Abbott heir feeling frantic and at loose ends. Kudos to YNR for coming up with a way to involve fans in the show's storyline. Christine modeled 3 wedding gowns that Lauren selected for her on Friday's show. While voting is now closed, fans could weigh in on which of the gowns they'd like to see Cricket walk down the aisle in, as she and Danny prepare to spend the rest of their lives together. The scenes were more than just a throwback to Chris's modeling days. Chris lent Lauren a sympathetic ear as she was concerned about Michael going back to work for Victor. It's always nice to see Jack and Nikki together on The Young and the Restless. They're the gold standard when it comes to ex-spouses remaining friends. Danny continues to be TV's most supportive dad. We love seeing him give Daniel some fatherly advice. Daniel's too hard on himself, so Danny gently nudging him towards a life he deserves is a nice dynamic to see. Esther, please, read the room. Talking about Claire having too much to drink with another guy in front of her boyfriend, Kyle, was not subtle. Where's Sharon? Have she and Nick already left for Los Angeles? Clearly, she needs to start hanging around Chancellor Park, since that's where a lot of people seem to be these days. Claire tells Kyle that Holden's just trying to help. Kyle, that's Holden. All about helping people. Billy to Vicky. I apologize if I'm a little irritated. Lily to Kane. There is no you and me, Kane. He asks if there's a chance of a future reconciliation on The Young and the Restless Lily. It's never going to happen. Kane. Never is a long time. Lily. There is no going back. The old Lily and Kane are gone. Christine wasn't the only vision in white last week on The Young and the Restless. Her bestie Lauren looked fabulous in a white linen blend ensemble by Donna Karan. Check out the details on the outfit here. What are billionaires wearing these days? Check out Kane's zigzag cardigan on The Young and the Restless here. Christine's lace wedding dress has the vote of at least one power player in daytime. Check out the second dress the bride-to-be tried on here. Catherine Chancellor would be pleased to know that Chancellor Park, which is named in her honor, is the meeting place for some many wonderful scenes on The Young and the Restless. Case in point, Daniel and Mariah had a heart-to-heart about him looking after Tessa while she's gone. We can see where this is going with Mariah asking Daniel to look after Tessa. Why can't Mariah? Chancellor Park was also the setting for another important talk this week. Phyllis and Michael met there to hash out their differences. Why aren't Maddie and Charlie making a beeline to their father Kane's side? He's a billionaire, and they might want to see if dear old dad is generous with his money. We know that the flashbacks take place in the past, but we gotta admit, showing flashbacks in black and white is a creative technique. Works for us. We kind of like Sally with Billy and Chelsea with Adam. But will Billy's falling off the wagon and Chelsea not supporting Adam cause another round of musical chairs for these four? We don't mean to sound like we're attacking Claire just because she isn't giving Kyle an inch. Let's see her do some of this therapy she said she's in on Y&R. The show could stunt cast a shrink for Claire, and she could explore why she's having a hard time trusting Kyle. We continue to long for the presence of Maddie and Charlie on the canvas. Their absence is glaring, given the number of times they are mentioned. We keep waiting for Chris to ask Lauren to be her maid of honor, and for Danny to ask Daniel to be his best man. Maybe Harrison will be back in town in time to offer his services as ring bearer? Speaking of Chris, we see that Cricket keeps popping up in press material and other references. Is Chris going back to her teen nickname on The Young and the Restless? Sounds good to us. Y&R is smart for regularly using the redone Abbott mansion. A lot of effort went into Diane sprucing up the place, and The Young and the Restless is getting its money's worth by showcasing the Abbott family home regularly. Is Kane running out of money? Esther hinted that Billy doesn't always pay his tab at Crimson Lights. Want more of Y&R? Be sure to check out The Scoop for spoilers, daily recaps, 2 scoops for weekly commentary, and The Young and the Restless page for Best of the Week and more features on Soap Central. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks, September 22nd to October 3rd, reveal that there will be an attempted murder investigation while Sharon Newman faces some alarm bells. Some LA mayhem will also loom, so here's what Y&R fans can look forward to. During the week of September 22 to 26, Tracy Abbott will return and catch up with Kane Ashby, so there'll be some mentions about their almost romance in the past. Billy Abbott will also seek Jack Abbott's help to stop Kane in his tracks, but he may not approve of his brother's new ally. That's because Jack and Victor Newman will seriously consider coming together as a Kane takedown team. Nikki Newman will definitely be thrown for a loop when she hears about Victor and Jack mulling over a partnership. Over with Kyle Abbott, he'll get some words of wisdom from Victoria Newman and ultimately land in another heated confrontation with Audra Charles. Meanwhile, Claire Newman will have to come up with a response for Holden Novak when he proposes that she should come on his Los Angeles trip as well. Other Y&R spoilers say Lauren Fenmore Baldwin will dig her heels in with Michael Baldwin and refuse to let him talk his way out of a tough topic. Michael may have no choice but to confess all the Kane and Victor details in the end. Kane will ultimately decide a particular alliance is finished. So could that be due to Lauren blabbing about Michael's spy games for Victor? Lauren's going to do something drastic, so stay tuned for updates on any betrayals she might make to protect Michael. Back with Victor, he'll make Kane an offer that seems downright irresistible. Victor might promise Kane a Lily Winters reunion and a restored relationship with the twins in exchange for doing what he wants. Kane may doubt that Victor can actually achieve all that, but Victor might vow to make it all happen and try to lock in an agreement. Whatever the case, Kane will contemplate his future while Sally ends up doing the same after Billy's ultimatum. Billy may contend that he's not backing down from his vengeful behavior and push Sally to either accept that or split from him romantically. As for Tessa Porter, she'll think it's time to visit the hotel where everything went wrong for Mariah Copeland. Daniel Romalotti Jr. will suggest he could go with Tessa and help her search for answers. The week of September 29th, October 3rd, may bring Daniel and Tessa's trip. So will they be able to uncover any details about the stranger that Mariah tried to smother with a pillow? Tessa and Daniel will investigate an attempted murder, though it's possible Mariah lied if she actually killed that man. Sharon Newman may face alarm bells in more ways than one if she gets news on Tessa's investigative trip with Daniel, and has to face some Noah Newman concerns too. Sharon and Nick Newman will get thrown into a mystery storyline involving Noah and some danger in Los Angeles this October, so they may see the first warning signs once the month gets underway. If Claire winds up going to LA with Holden, there's a chance they might get tangled up in the same dangerous drama. Regardless, Sienna Bacall, Roger Howarth's character, and Detective Burrow will all be part of the Los Angeles action that's on the way.